Hello, welcome to Dreadlock FAQs. The answer to that question varies immensely. It depends on length, texture, type of hair you have. It's very variable. But I can say that my hair, personally, took 7 to 10 hours. I would plan, like, if you're going to do hair that's below your shoulders, I would plan on doing a whole day. Like, if you want it done in the day, start early. Start lunchtime. Start morning. Start crack acid dawn, you know. But if you're doing shorter hair, I would say it still depends. I'm not even going to say anything. But I would spend on a 12-inch section of real hair. If you have 12 inches of real hair, I would spend at least 15 minutes on each dread, at least, with a crochet hook. This is using the back combing, palm rolling, and crochet hook thing. That's what I would use. That's what I'd go by. I'd spend at least 15 minutes on each dread, and just figure it from there, because if your hair is really thick, it's going to take a lot longer than, say, mine did. Or if, you know, if your hair takes dreads easier, some people use lemon juice in their hair before they dread their hair. Or some people actually dye their hair blonde, make it real, you know, crispy. You know, when you dye, if you've ever dyed your hair blonde before, it gets kind of crispy after you dye it. You dry it and dye it. Dye it and dry it. And then once it is dry, then you can, it feels crispier, if you know what I mean at all. If not, then I wouldn't dye my hair just to dread it. But if you already have, like, if you want blonde dreads, dye your hair, gets crispy, put the dreads in. But be careful, because your hair does have a stronger chance of, more of a chance of breakage if it's not, you know, that healthy, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a person living, trying to give some good advice. So, next! I'd have to say you lose about a third of your length to dreading your hair. It's essentially, it's knotting your hair. So if you have like a shoelace, if you have a shoelace in front of you, you knot it a few times, put 5 knots in that shoelace. You're going to have a little bit of a shorter shoelace there. So anything that you knot obviously gets shorter. I'd say you lose about a third. When I start out with an 18-inch length of extension hair, I end up with about, depending on, you know, the dread, it's a very variable thing. But you can end up with a 12-inch piece up until maybe a 14-inch piece, but you always lose length, and I pretty much leave it at a third of your length. How much should I wash my hair? How much do I wash my hair? Depends on the season. It depends on what I've been doing lately. If I'm sweating, if it's hot out, if I've been in a pool lately, I will definitely wash my hair. Or rinse it, either one. When I wash it, I use anything that has no residue to it. People have been known to use glycerin soap. There's different natural soaps you can buy that leave no residue. I use Suave clarifying shampoo, but I only use a little bit of it. And I do work it into my dreads. They're like sponges. You can, you know, work it in a little bit, or you can just rub over the top. If you have really mature dreads, then you probably have a technique down. But if you have newer dreads, it's really good to keep them rinsed out, because any dirt that gets in there is going to be in there when they're matured. You want to make sure they're clean on the inside as well as the outside, so that when they do mature, you don't have like crap in there, you know? You don't want crap in your hair. Why? Why would you want crap in your hair? So I always rinse my hair. Like, I try to do it every 3 days. I try to rinse it at least. And that's having my dreads now. I've had them since August. It's now April. I don't know how many months it is. I'm bad. So it's like six or seven months. 8 months. 8 months, I think. But, yeah, I would definitely wash them. I wash them. I could go maybe 2 weeks without washing them. 3 weeks without washing them with soap, that is. I rinse them, like I said. But, with soap, I usually wait a little bit longer because I use more of a deep cleaning too. The deep cleaning I do is, it's half a cup of baking soda and 3 drops of tea tree oil in a bucket of water. I use a big soup pot. I have one soup pot that I use all the time for just dipping my head into with that mixture. And then I soak it for about 10 minutes. I'll sit in the bathtub with it soaking in my hair for 10 minutes and then rinse it really good. But boy, do they feel yummy after that goes in there. Oh man, they feel so clean and so great. So fresh and so clean. And then I also use tea tree oil on, in the beginning, I had irritation. And tea tree oil is very, very soothing, healing, wonderful stuff. Good stuff, good stuff. So, yeah, that's how much you should, you just kind of gauge it with what you feel is necessary. In the wintertime, you can go longer. In the summertime, you can go shorter of a period of time. They're your dreads. Treat them as you wish. Just make sure they dry out. Important fact. Make sure they dry after, you know, they're wet. Don't put them in a ponytail. Don't leave them go. Let them flow. Let them do their own thing, you know. And then they can dry better. So that's what you probably want to, you know, you want to dry your dreads because you don't want mold growing in there. No, you don't want mold. No. Can you dye your dreads? Yes, of course. Why couldn't you? It's hair. You can dye your dreads. Unless you have like extensions in your hair that are synthetic, or if you have wool dreads in your hair, different types of things that obviously you wouldn't want to dye your hair. Other than that, it's still your hair. You can still dye it. Some people are opposed to it. I personally am not. So, but again, this is my personal opinion on everything. I'm just a person living. But yeah, I dye my roots. I just do my roots though, because I have the rest of my hair is already the color I want it. So I do dye my roots. I just put it in a little bit on, you know, the spots that I want done. If you do like lots of people dye their hair blonde. They have blonde dreads. After they have dreads, they'll dye them blonde. And you just squish it in, and then make sure you rinse like crazy though, because you don't want that shit on your pillow. You don't want that stuff all over your pillow. But yeah, you can dye your dreads. It's still your hair. You can do as you please. I'm not going to tell you that it's sound advice for everybody's hair type, but disclaimer, yeah, that went in there. Yeah, but I do dye my dreads.